Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Pugacheva. I live in Sweden. I am a stepmother of 3 and I love chocolate and I'm a maverick. So I am a productivity coach, neuroscience coach. So I do lots of consulting for entrepreneurs, busy moms, organizations and corporations, and helping people basically taking back their power over their time, energy, and to-do lists. And my other archetypes are ruler and alchemist. And the maverick is always on the top. And you know, when I did the test for the first time and for the second time, it was the same thing every time. And it just made me feel so safe. You know, it's safe to be who I am, period. And it just explained so many things in my life and in my business.
Okay, thank you so much for your beautiful introductions. And what I would love to go straight into, right? We're just going to jump straight into sabotages. You know, so think pre-SMA, before you knew that you were a maverick or you're an alchemist or the other archetypes. Where was that sabotaging you? So yeah, I would just love to just dive into, you know, how is your archetypes unknowingly sabotaging your business? And we'll just go around in the same order again.
So I'm a maverick, ruler, and alchemist. And I was born in very poor life settings. You know, I was born and grew up in another country, in an orphanage, no family, like everything's so poor and dysfunctional. And what I struggled throughout my life is that, you know, I was shaming myself for who I am and that I want to go against that and not follow everyone else's path. And I have received so much shame about that and around that. And I had to let go of that because I know when I discovered that I am maverick, for me, it was like, this is me. This is who I always was. And I was born to do this. I was born to be wealthy. I was born to inspire people. I was born to lead. And I'm not bossy. And also being an alchemist, I always have these amazing creative ideas. And I had to stop giving them away for free because I ended up building other people's businesses. And I never got paid for that. So my solution to that is basically remind myself every single day that I am the person I always wanted to be and stand in that power and shine as much as I can, because that's when I attract so much money and so many opportunities. And I even started to take consultation fee for my calls, even if they're just clarity calls, just because to have that energetical exchange for my ideas, for my energy, and that some kind of money is coming in. And I also had to let go of some clients who needed so much, you know, connection and nurturing. Because I am a forward, I move fast, I get shit done. And I can hold space for people in short amounts of times. But if I do a coaching package for 3 months or 6 months, it just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, basically accepting myself for who I am, because that's when I create the greatest success for me. And being a maverick and having all these ideas has given me so many media opportunities. I have been in newspapers, front pages, back pages, middle pages. There are documentaries about my life's journey, about my business. I recorded 2 commercials 2 weeks ago. You know, it's like just embracing myself for who I am has helped me a lot.
Hearing that acceptance, because the shame, you know, that I think a few of you have touched on, of going, you know, I'm not allowed to be who I am. I'm not allowed to be this lucky, and second guessing that ability. Anyone can answer this one. You know, I wrote my first book, Lucky Bitch, because that's what my friends were calling me. You know, they were like, oh, you're such a lucky bitch. But even hearing that from a young age of going, oh, you think you're so good, or you think that, you know, rules don't apply to you, it was kind of that feedback of going to second guess it. You know, as a kid, you kind of believe in that magic. And then people tell you, hang on, not everyone's like this, or it's going to run out. And, you know, you might have been called a flake. You might have been called a lucky bitch like me. Were there anyone can answer this one? Were there any nicknames that you had as a kid, or things that you were teased about for this magical ability that made you second guess it, whether it's shame from other people or just that shame from yourself of going, oh, I shouldn't do this?
I get to hear this quite a lot because I also I even see myself as a very lucky person. I find money all the time. I get all these opportunities. Things always work out for me. And what I have heard from people around me is even, they go sometimes as far as they say that, you know, I manipulate people to get what I want, or even worse, I hear some people saying that I just make myself pretty and I sit and everyone is serving me while I don't do any work, which is so not true. I work my ass off, and that's why I also get all these opportunities. And it's so much mindset work. You know, I choose to see what I want to see in my life, what I want to manifest in my life. And that takes hard work and discipline. So I'm not just sitting here and making myself pretty and waiting to be served, which is also nice sometimes to be served, but it doesn't come from, you know, being this greedy, manipulative person who just uses people to get what I want. And also, for example, when I wrote my first book, which is my autobiography, I got amazing media coverage. I got lots of sales. It was amazing. It was a great success. I did 3 book launch parties for myself just because I could do that, just because I wanted to do that, just because I wanted to be different and break the rules. And even then people said, you know, oh, you're so lucky. You always get this, you always get that. But I'm like, you have no idea how much work there is behind that, especially because so many people don't know what were the conditions where I started, which makes the road far way longer. So, yeah. I just, you know, this resonates with me so much because also when I grew up, I wasn't allowed to be who I am. I wasn't allowed to be the maverick I am, and I always was. You know, growing up in an orphanage, being sent to 11 foster care families back and forth, the purpose of my being was to work, to please, and be quiet and never question anything, because I was burdened to the world. That's what I got to hear every single day. You are devil's child. Who do you think you are? How can Mother Earth even carry you? You're worthless. All of those things. And I can imagine, you know, if I only had one single nurturer at that time, oh my God, I would be like even more of who I am today, because it took time to embrace that part of me. And, you know, when I do my speaking engagements, I just love sharing this story because, you know, when I grew up, I was beaten for sharing my voice. Today, that's my full-time job and I get paid for that. That's a rebound. So yeah, this really resonated with me. Thank you so much.
So I just want to pivot to, there's a question I've been asking each group, as I alluded to before, about what makes you excited to join a program or a course and what turns you off?
Well, I love this question so much. So I love buying things from real people who can show us that this is possible for me too, because I find myself like always being outside the normal standard business world. And when I see you, Denise, I'm like, oh, if she can do it, I can do that too. With all the weirdness, with all the messy hair, and sometimes all the prettiness and everything. And I like to see that realness, because that's what truly resonates with me. That's number one. Number two, I don't read sales page or like this long, and I don't have time for that. I'm a productivity consultant. So as a productivity coach, I don't do this because I need to save my time. But yeah, another thing that I don't like is if someone does these, American sales strategies on me, try to play these mind games and have these upsells and downsells and up and down everything. No, it's a big no, because it always looks good on the paper, but I have been in those spaces and they are empty. There's no energy in the room, and I end up being the engine for the program, for the course, and I end up helping others to build their businesses instead of me getting the support that I need. So that's number three. And number four, I like buying from people who care, like genuinely care for me as their student. I have bought programs before who, they look good, they feel good, but when I hire a person, it's like the care is gone. And for me, as a maverick, as a ruler, as someone who knows how to do the work, I can move forward fast. I can bring you with me. I can do the whole thing. But if you're not even there to care or just be present, this is not going to work. And I'm not going to hire you second time or third time. And I'm not going to recommend you either. So, yeah. So I love being first.
Oh, yeah.
I want to have all the VIP things, and I pre-order your book. I joined your boot camp. I think it was in 2015. I like to be like first. That makes me feel special, like I'm on the train before anyone else. I get the best spaces. And also, as a maverick and ruler, I like to having that support group. I'm not there very often, and I don't need that nurturing and support all the time. But when I need it, I want to know that it's there. And then I'm all in and all yours.
I would love to hear actually about your combination of archetypes and how that shows up for you, because what I see sometimes is that some combinations really supercharge like the good stuff, and like it's like, oh, well, I've got this and this, and so I'm unstoppable. But some of those things cancel each other out, and some of the things amplify your sabotages. And so, I would love to hear if you have any awareness around that, of how that is showing up for you, or if there's even just like you're kind of ignoring some of your archetypes and you're suppressing them.
I love this. I love everything. So I'm maverick, ruler, and alchemist. And 2 years ago, I had my best year in business. Financially, all the courses, I sold everything every day. I had all these ideas. And the thing about me is that I have all these ideas and I also work on them and I get them done. So I had so many things, so many exciting things on my plate and in my work. I get up at 4 and went to bed late just to get up again. I had so much energy and results and money and clients and everything. And then I ended up in a burnout. And then I had to relearn everything over and over again. So when that happened, I ended up in a very ugly place. I lost clients, I lost money because I just couldn't keep up with everything I had created. I couldn't keep up with everything I followed through, with all the commitments. I also closed my membership because it was just too much. And I basically had to rebuild my business and build it from a different place, that I don't need to burn myself out in order to be successful. And I remember that when I had all those things, when I reached all my goals, I wasn't fulfilled. And for me, business is about having the success and having the joy. So I basically, as I said, had to relearn how I want to operate, how I want to do my business, and how I want to be a role model for my clients too. So I had to set different time boundaries for myself, for my schedule, also for my people, what's okay, what's not okay. I got this neuroscience coaching certification to understand how I work, how my brain works. I got some science and facts behind my actions, my thoughts. And then my partner, who is accumulator, said that, have you ever considered that you probably have ADHD? So many things came, into one place, and I had to implement lots of rest and reset activities in my days, which I still do and still follow, and that's awesome. But there is another side of taking rests, because when I take rest, when I do nothing, I get all these ideas. Breaks bring more to me, but they also bring more space and calmness within me, which I need, because I do know that, my energy is my greatest asset. My energy is my currency. And if I don't have that, nothing else matters. And I'm so proud to say today that I'm so good with boundaries, with my time, with ending early, because I'm, the things I get done in a day, someone else needs 2, 3, 4 weeks to get even close to what I have done. And just, accepting that and feeling within me that this is enough and I can do whatever I want during the rest of the day. So now my alchemist is working on getting all these ideas on how I can celebrate and enjoy and have more pleasure in my life. That's where my alchemist is at the moment, and I really love doing that. So, every day I practice this intentional self-programming, because I know it's easy for me, because I have a maverick and ruler in the first 2 places. It's so easy for me to be there, but it's not healthy for me. So it takes for me more work to have these, to program myself, to program my mind, but it's more rewarding. And that's what I want to have, more rewarding things in my life, more rewarding work, clients, income, pleasure, activities, joy. So it's been a journey, a long journey to come here. This is my 10th year in business. So it's been a long journey to come here.
Love to hear, and I'm sure our Europeans probably need to go as well. But just to finish off, and I'm happy to stay a little bit longer. I don't have a meeting for half an hour, but because I want to hear so much more about you guys. You're all so fascinating, and but I would love just to tick off my little bits. What message would you have for someone who's thinking about joining SMA?
I think that this is an amazing program for anyone who wants to create their lives on their own terms and build a business. Because if you don't really know who you are and how you operate best, you cannot really build a successful life or creative life or wealthy life. So whenever I feel that, okay, now is another time to move my business forward, now I need to make some important decisions, I always go back to my archetypes. So for example, when I was about to hire my first assistant, I listened to Denise, to your episode about how you hired your assistants and all the success and failures around that. It was so helpful, because in different stages in our lives, in our works, in our businesses, we need different kind of advice and support. And in each phase, we see different things because we have become different. We are not the same person anymore. So that was a huge help for me, when I wanted to expand my business and hire a team. For me, as a maverick, ruler, and alchemist, this program gave me the permission that I don't need to work hard to be successful, because I know how to work hard. I worked hard throughout my whole life, but now I don't need to do that. I know more, I know better, and it's okay. And also awareness, you know, what I'm doing, is this really working for me? And, you know, I repeat these affirmations to myself whenever I get some kind of opportunity. So for example, the affirmation is, whenever I insert, I create wealth and abundance for myself and others. So when someone did a podcast interview for me, before the interview, before I jumped on the Zoom, I was like, whenever I do an interview, I make money, I increase my wealth and abundance for myself and people around me. And what happened was, the host hired me on the call, on the record. And he even said, you know, I'm putting this on a record. I'm hiring you as my coach. I want to work with you. I want to have your energy. And he even said on a call, I'm not hiring you because of what you know. I believe that you know enough, but I'm hiring you because of who you are and your energy. So it was such a beautiful interview, you know, and because of those affirmations and awareness and giving myself permission to earn money easy, this opportunity came to me.
Has anyone got any ahas about their lowest archetype? So I can't remember what my exact lowest is, but I think it's either connector or celebrity. And I know that even during the filming, I was like, oh, I have to do celebrity last because it's so high maintenance. Like we had to do, you know, like a real set and shoes and make, like it was a whole thing. And so I kept on going, well, celebrities are the last people to join. So whatever, I'll just keep it at the end. And even like I totally sabotaged at the end because I had put like a shoulder pad in, but they weren't big enough. So I put some socks in to like make these shoulders like really big. And then you can see the sock hanging out. And I was like, oh, the celebrities are going to hate this. And because it was like an extra day, I said to my stylist who was there for the whole week, I said to her, oh, you don't need to come in on that last day because we've just got to, you know, get everything done, because I totally underestimated how long it took to film everything. And so I feel so bad that on the day that I really needed that stylist to like check my necklace and check all the things, I went, oh no, don't even worry about it. And so it just shows again, like knowing what your last one is a real sign sometimes of either where your sabotages are, or I realized I can't make myself a celebrity to attract more celebrities because I literally cannot maintain it. And it's so not me that it's like a costume almost to do it. And so I just have to attract those celebrities who have those other archetypes and they know that they can learn something from me, because they're not going to learn fashion from me. You know, they're not going to learn those I even got a manicure for the celebrities, but it was kind of, I was like, it's not quite the right color. So that was my aha from my lowest one. But does anyone have anything they want to share about their low archetype too?
My lowest is accumulator. Is that how you say that? And my partner is like the top of the accumulator. And so I decided to give myself advice to not to ask for advice from unqualified people. He doesn't know what this thing I'm doing is. His kids still think I'm just playing on my computer. And if you ask him what I'm doing, he doesn't really know. But he's happy every time I get the client, and every time I publish something, and every time I'm on a screen, or he enjoys that, but he has no idea. So because I have felt disappointed many times, not supported, not really seen for who I am and all my gifts and everything I bring to the table. So just having the acceptance that, you know, everyone is different. And so instead of trying to get that from him, I accept him for his gifts, because I need that in my life too. You know, I don't want to live with another maverick and ruler. So just finding that support in different places, like hiring a therapist, or doing something else, giving myself the love that I need sometimes. Because even though I'm very fast forward, I trust my abilities, I know who I am, I know what I do, there's still some times when I don't trust and don't believe. And asking for that support from the right people, from the qualified people, has been like life-changing for me.
So, are you a ruler, a connector, or a maverick? Hang on, maybe you're more of a romantic or a celebrity. Take the money personality quiz right now and find out which of the 8 money archetypes you are. And then I'm going to teach you how to profit from your strengths and make money in your business based on your natural personality. Click below and find out more.